Hello everyone. So today we are going to learn about the types of adaptive immunity. In previous lecture we have seen the types of immunity, that is innate immunity and adaptive immunity. So before going into the types of adaptive immunity, we will look at first what is adaptive immunity is. Adaptive immunity is the immunity which we get after our birth, which is not present by birth, which we developed after getting some kind of exposure to pathogen or getting some kind of infection. We develop that adaptive immunity. So we will look further for the types of adaptive immunity. So basically adaptive immunity is classified into two types. First is active immunity and passive immunity. So what is active and what is passive? Active immunity is nothing but where our body is getting exposed to the pathogens, and in passive immunity our body is not getting any exposure to a pathogen, but we are acquiring that immunity from somewhere or someone else. So we if we classify this active immunity further, it is like natural immunity and artificial immunity, and in the same case this passive immunity is also getting converted or getting classified into a natural and artificial immunity. So what is natural immunity in case of active adaptive immunity? In this case we are getting exposed to a pathogen naturally. That means we are actually getting infection, and after that infection our body is fighting against that infection, and after several days our body is developing this immunity, which we call the natural active acquired immunity. And the second type is artificial acquired immunity. In this, the name itself suggests that it is artificial. That means we are not getting naturally infected by the pathogen here. We are infecting ourselves artificially. So what is that artificial infection? That we call in our normal term we call it as a vaccination. So what happens in what vaccination is, we get exposed to the some kind of bacteria or virus or pathogen, which is a weakest version of any dangerous pathogen. So we get injected by that vaccine, or we get infected by that weakest version of a pathogen, so that our body fights against that and produce antibodies against that particular pathogen. So why do we do that? So we do that because we want protection against a particular pathogen, which can be a very dangerous to us if in case that happens, or that infects us naturally. So for that protection we are taking this major step so that if in case in future if we develop or if we get exposed to that particular pathogen which can be dangerous to us, so that we are using the weakest version of that pathogen getting injected by vaccination, and our body is developing the immunity or antibodies against that, so that if in case in future we encounter that particular pathogen, our body already has or already have that antibodies to fight against that. So in this way, with the use of vaccination, we are protecting our body, and this is called artificial active immunity. So we will look further for a passive immunity. There are two types, natural and artificial immunity. What natural immunity in case of a passive immunity is, we are getting antibodies, or we are getting this immunity from somewhere else or someone else. In this case, naturally, how do we get antibodies, or how do we get some kind of immunity against some diseases naturally? That is of course through our mother. So through the placenta we are getting this immunity, so that's why it is called a natural passive immunity. And the second one is artificial passive immunity. So how do we get artificially? In this case our body is not developing this immunity, we are getting artificially. So how do we get artificially? So let's say let's say you have got some serious infection in which you don't have your body don't have much time to develop adaptive immunity naturally against it. So what we do is we use or we take artificial or ready-made antibodies from other patients or anyone else medically. We get that ready-made antibodies to our body, inject our body, and that antibodies are already ready to fight against that particular disease, so that the time is limited here. So this artificial passive immunity helps us to fight against the dangerous diseases in which our own body cannot develop a adaptive immunity in short duration. So that's why we are using ready-made antibodies to fight against that. So this is all about the types of acquired immunity, which is divided into active, passive, then natural and artificial in the both case. This is all about the adaptive and acquired immunity. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching my video. You can hit the like button. You can share and subscribe my channel, please. Thank you.